Now at 6, a Joplin man's in police custody accused of shooting his teenage daughter. And health officials say Omicron is behind an increase in COVID-19 numbers and hospitalizations, but they're noticing something different in this surge.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin police arrest a man accused of killing his teenage daughter. This is KOAM News at 6. Authorities say Todd Mays shot and killed his 17-year-old daughter during a disturbance at their home on Connor Avenue. Police officers yesterday responded to a call about someone being shot and found the 17-year-old. She was taken to the hospital in critical condition but passed away this morning. Police arrested Mays at the scene. He's charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action. A Jasper, Missouri man is dead after a fiery crash in Joplin. Friday, just before 5, Joplin police responded to a disturbance call at the library. No one was charged or arrested, but police say one of the people involved, David Pulsiver, drove away, eventually hitting a pole around 20th and Rangeline. The car caught fire and Pulsiver died at the scene. Joplin police say they're still investigating that crash. We're learning more tonight about the crash that happened on I-44 last night. The Missouri Highway Patrol says the crash involved 4 trucks. Started when the driver of a Freightliner rear-ended another truck, starting a chain reaction with 2 more trucks. The drivers were from Brooklyn, New York, Chicago, and Kansas City. Authorities reported moderate injuries, but everyone is expected to survive. A building fire in Miami, Oklahoma created so much smoke it could be seen dozens of miles away. Firefighters responded to calls about the fire a little after 9:30 this morning and found the old boater float building engulfed in flames. 10 minutes after they arrived, the front wall collapsed. The building has been vacant for a while, but a friend of the owner says the power was turned on again last week. Checking in with Doug Heddy now for our first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be a decent Monday for us today. Temperatures not too bad. Most of us upper 40s to near 50 degrees as we went through the afternoon hours. Plenty of sunshine. We have clear skies outside for us right now. In fact, most of the Central Plains pretty quiet, and that's what we are going to see over the next several days. Temperature is actually going to warm up a little bit more than what we saw for us today. 39 Fort Scott, 37 in Nevada, 39 in Anderson. We're at 37 in Miami, so most of us upper 30s to near 40. We'll drop back into the upper 20s later on tonight, but we're going to be calm as we slide back through the 30s, upper 20s to near 30 degrees. Of course, we're going to look at the entire work week and our next potential for rain or snow here in just a bit.
See you then. Coronavirus cases and hospitalizations are on the rise in the area as the Omicron variant continues to spread. KOAM's Chris Warner spoke with some local officials about the trends they've noticed.
Since the start of the new year, the number of COVID-19 cases has increased significantly across the area, which health officials say can be attributed to the Omicron variant. In Newton County, the case increase is concerning to the health department director, Larry Bergner, but isn't alarming yet, because for now, things are balancing themselves out.
Now the good news is we've only got 170 active cases in Newton County, and that's in large part due to the number of releases.
Bergner says the majority of cases are unvaccinated, but it's not limited to them.
Now there's certainly those outliers, people with underlying conditions that is going to be hit harder. The unvaccinated are hit harder, but overall it seems to be pretty mild cases, which is good news for our area.
Over at Mercy in Joplin, hospitalizations are on the rise, but there's some positive news.
We are seeing a few less in critical care and less numbers on ventilators. So the good news is that the hospitalization stay seems to be a little bit shorter and less complicated.
Stokes says it's not just COVID contributing to those hospitalizations.
We're seeing a lot of the other respiratory viruses that we didn't see a year ago.
Flu and RSV are just a couple of the viruses making a return as people relax some of the COVID precautions they were taking a year ago. As for the load on the hospital itself,
every day we're admitting and discharging pretty much the same amount. So at present, we're keeping up.
I'm Chris Warner for KOAM News.
We spoke with the Jasper County Health Department Director, Tony Moore, who says the latest sewer shed samples taken at the end of December show the Omicron variant is present in Joplin and is beginning to show up in Carthage. In Capitol Watch, Kansas lawmakers have kicked off their annual session. Tax cuts are expected to be a big issue because the state is flush with cash. The session is also shadowed by redistricting, election year politics, and COVID-19. Both the Republican-led legislature and Democratic Governor Laura Kelly are pursuing tax breaks. Lawmakers must redraw the state's political boundaries to account for shifts in population over the last 10 years. And they're likely to consider restrictions on how public schools teach students about race and the influence of racism in U.S. history. Still ahead, a popular Christmas light show in Kansas will have to spend its off-season recovering from a fire. And later, the college football season is coming to an end as Georgia and Alabama face off in the national championship. Christmas cleanup reveals a big problem at a popular Kansas light show. Reporter Isaac French has that story.
The Cortez Holiday Light Show has brought Christmas cheer to Topekans for more than a decade. After the end of another successful season, the family was cleaning up Saturday morning when they discovered something unusual.
As this morning, my dad was starting to take down some of the lights, just get them inside since it was warmer out. He noticed that on one of the trees, there were 3 controllers that are like black and charred and burned. Actually, one's completely destroyed. It's not even there anymore. It's just burnt away.
Louis Cortez went back to check his security camera, where he watched thousands of dollars worth of equipment go up in smoke.
So I played back our security cameras and saw that it happened on the 4th around 7:40. There's a tiny spark in one of the plugs, and it just caught the cables and just started a fire.
Cortez then came to a heartbreaking realization.
The first thing I thought is I'm not going to be able to do the show this year because I just knew from the pictures my dad sent me and just watching the security cameras that it was a lot of damage.
He says fixing the damage would far exceed his yearly budget for the display. So the Cortez Family Light Show may have to take a little break. A GoFundMe has since been set up for the Holiday Light Show. And Cortez says with enough support, they may be able to bring the tradition back in time for Christmas.
Just seeing that people are upset and they want to help the show, it really makes me feel better because people do want to see the show. It's something they enjoy. It's something they plan to see every year. And I just really appreciate the support that people are giving me.
Again, that was Isaac French reporting. Later, it's the end of the NFL regular season, which means some teams are looking for coaches and some coaches are looking for new jobs.
Plus a cold night for us tonight. Are we going to start to warm things back up? We'll check that out coming up.
Holidays.
Well, it turned out to be a pretty good Monday for us today. Temperatures not bad across the region as we did warm up near 50 degrees. And it looks like overall a pretty nice week. Temperatures a little bit above average for this time of the year. Mainly calm. We are going to track a storm system which is going to start to affect us by the weekend, but it's just going to be a little bit of a glancing blow, so not a huge deal. We are going to cool down with it. Of course, you can get a long-range forecast on my month-long blog. That is KOAMnewsnow.com. All right, outside, let's go. 37 in Nevada, 39 Monette, 37 in Anderson, 37 in Grove. We can head up toward Pittsburgh, sitting at 38, Chanute 36, Independence a little bit warmer as they are sitting into lower 40s. But overall, most of us are going to drop back kind of in that 28 to 30 degree range later on tonight. 41, that's where we're sitting right now. Humidity is at about 45%, so it's not bad. We drop back through the 30s during the evening hours, and again, 28 to about 30 for overnight lows tonight. Clear skies, nothing is going on here. In fact, the entire Central Plains, pretty good. We have one little weak wave. Southern parts of Texas, this is going to kind of swing to our south, so we don't have to worry about this whatsoever. Out to the west, here's our jet stream, way up into southern Canada and then dips down. We're in that part of the pattern. Once again, we're kind of in the same part of the pattern we were in the first week of November. And this is really what we're going to see mainly most of the month. So we don't get any big storm systems which drive in, but we get these little shots of Arctic air like we've had over the past couple weeks. No Arctic air, at least over the next several days, which is good. 28 to about 30 for us tonight. Plenty of sunshine for us tomorrow. Tomorrow looks good. We'll warm near 50 by noon, and I think most of us will top out into the mid-50s during the afternoon. So pretty good day. 29 to start. Southerly winds will start to pick up just a little bit. 5 to 10 to 15, 49 by noon. High temp right around 54 during the afternoon. Tomorrow night's also going to be okay. Kind of chilly. Backing down into the 30s once again. Then we can head into Wednesday. Partly sunny skies. Very similar. Mid-50s for highs. Very consistent. All week long, most of our temperatures are going to be about the same each and every day. We do get a weak little cold front that slides through Thursday. And then we get southerly winds back. We can head into Friday. So here's Friday evening. We have a fast-moving system. It drops mainly northeast of us. Doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with, but will most likely give us some showers Friday evening into Friday night. And then on the back side, we may get a little bit of snow that mixes in early Saturday morning. Overall, this whole system doesn't look like a big deal, but it is going to bring in a little bit cooler air mass as we go into Saturday and Sunday. Let's go 28 tonight. 54 tomorrow, which is pretty good. 55 on Wednesday, 54 on Thursday, 53 on Friday. So again, very consistent temperatures, that weak little system late Friday into Saturday. A little bit cooler, but still overall not a bad weekend. Temperatures upper 30s to lower 40s.
Yeah, highs in the 50s. Yeah, we'll take that for sure.
Yeah, not a bad week.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, Joplin girls open conference play tonight against Webb City, and Alabama and Georgia prepare to meet in tonight's national championship. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Webb City girls basketball team has come on strong in the last few weeks. After a 2-5 start, the Cardinals have won 3 straight to get back to an even 5-5 on the year. Tonight, Webb City hits the road to Joplin, facing the Eagles in their COC conference opener. And Joplin also 500 coming into this one, sitting at 6-6. Game time for this one is 7:30. We'll have the highlights right here tonight at 10. Tonight is the final night of the college football season. Alabama and Georgia meet tonight in the Division I National Championship game. Both teams are 13-1 on the season, and they've already played once, with Alabama beating Georgia in the SEC Championship game. Now, if the Bulldogs win it, it'll be their first title since 1980. If Bama wins it, it'll be back-to-back titles for the Crimson Tide and their 7th championship since 2009. To do that, though, they'll have to beat a Georgia team that heads into the game as 2.5-point favorites.
They've been one of the most consistent, well-coached teams all year long, and it's certainly going to be a great challenge for us to have the opportunity to play them. Our players have done a pretty good job of trying to stay focused on what they need to stay focused on, but I think that's really one of the keys in these kind of games is, can you stay focused on what you need to do to try to execute and play well against a very, very good team. So that'll be the challenge for us as well.
Well, it is Black Monday in the NFL, and as always, a few teams have fired their head coaches. Just today, the Vikings have parted ways with Mike Zimmer. Matt Nagy was fired in Chicago, and Brian Flores was fired by the Dolphins. Now, in the AFC West on Sunday, the Broncos fired their head coach Vic Fangio. Fangio spent 3 seasons in Denver. The Broncos finished with a losing record in all 3, including finishing 4th in the division the last 2 years. The Broncos, by the way, have not beaten the division rival Chiefs since 2015. Andy Reid was hired as the Chiefs head coach in 2013. In those 9 years, Kansas City's won 6 division titles, 2 AFC championships, and a Super Bowl. Now, as for the rest of the division, check this out. Since Reid was hired in Kansas City, look at this mess, man. The Chargers are on their 3rd head coach. Now, you think 3 head coaches in 9 years, not great, but look at the Raiders and Broncos. Denver has had 4 head coaches since 2013. And it'll be 5 when they find a new one this offseason. The Raiders, even better than that. They've had 5 head coaches since 2013. Rich Bisaccia is interim head coach right now as the Raiders head into the playoffs. So potentially, Vegas could be on their 6th different head coach if they decide to move on this offseason. All I'm saying, appreciate Andy Reid, all right? And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Private Second Class Arthur Fields served in the U.S. Air Force. His hometown, Pittsburgh. And we are proud to salute Private Second Class Arthur Fields. He's tonight's four-state hero. You can learn about lots of other heroes, more than 3,000 of them in our database. They're from all across this area. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime, and we're always looking for more. You just go to our website. It's KOAMnewsnow.com. Jordan Nobby joins us now with a look at what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, going to hear about a program that lets kids fine-tune reading skills while socializing with pets waiting for a forever home. Also, the entertainment world is mourning the loss of Bob Saget. And a 106-year-old woman crediting her long life to faith and Big Macs. That and more tonight, KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Faith and Big Macs. Students at a Missouri elementary school got a big league surprise. That's when a substitute teacher for PE was needed. A Gold Glove outfielder from the St. Louis Cardinals soared into the classroom. Holden Kuricki reports.
Like many schools across the country, the start of the second semester has been a bit of a struggle at Merrimack Elementary in Clayton.
Last week was a challenge, just mostly, we had a lot of kids out, but it's also the staffing perspective. It's, I think that's sometimes the part that gets overlooked.
But when Principal Patrick Fisher needed someone to pinch hit for PE,
being a substitute science teacher or math teacher, even at that level, would be above my pay grade.
he was able to find an all-star sub to cover all the bases.
Yeah, we introduced him as a sub, as a guest teacher. And, and so they were all like, kind of, they were wearing masks and he doesn't have a uniform on. So it was kind of like, wait a second, who is this?
The man behind the mask was none other than Gold Glove center fielder Harrison Bader.
It's always just so much fun engaging, kids at that age and seeing how their mind works and everything.
Instead of asking Bader about the game he plays for a living, the students at Merrimack showed the Cardinals standout a game they created themselves.
There wasn't a hesitation from him just to hop right in and get in there and mix it with the kids.
In the game that they played, they had a lot more success than I did. So, I've had a lot more success on the field playing in front of the St. Louis fans. So
they are still going through a lockout. Are we going to have a temporary career change or anything, or is this kind of a fun one day only type thing?
Definitely not going to have a temporary career change. It was nice to be in St. Louis and not have to worry about which righty throwing 100 was trying to take my lunch that day.
While Bader may have better success on the baseball diamond, Fisher says he's always welcome to rejoin the ranks of the Merrimack faculty.
And it really is going to be one of those things our kids remember, whether it's just remembering the memory or a couple of the hats that he might have signed for some of our students while he was there too.
If there are any substitute teacher openings, let me know.
You can bet that Bader has won some fans for life among those kids.
Probably, yeah.
And hold on to that memory. Temperature is not too bad this week.
No, overall they actually look pretty good. We'll drop back to about 28 for us tonight. 54 tomorrow, really pretty consistent all week long. Highs into the mid-50s. A little bit of rain, a few flakes of snow mixing in late Friday into Saturday, but not bad.
Final sports notes.
So after a fun weekend of NFL football this weekend, we have the first round matchup for the Chiefs. It'll be on Sunday night against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What's going to happen in that game?
They're going to win by double digits.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm hoping. I think the Steelers will play them tougher than a few weeks ago.
Yeah, yes, but the Chiefs will win going away. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Salon service is provided.